So I happen to be up late looking at lenses that I could potentially think about considering the possibility of maybe purchasing because, you know, I like to think about these things for a while before I even consider the possibility of maybe putting my money down on a new lens because they're expensive. And then I got a message from Achara who said the Mission Mongol teaser had just dropped, excuse me, not the teaser, the trailer, the official trailer, because we looked at the teaser together and I'll be looking at the trailer alone. I know that there are some of you who are like, you should wait for Achara. I'm like, no, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. This is something that I'm very excited about. It just dropped. The momentum's hot. So I would like to do it right now. I apologize to those of you who would rather see me do it with someone else. But today, you'll just have to settle for the Jabster. The Jab, man. The Jabs. Okay, so Mission Mongol, official trailer with Akshay Kumar, Vijay Balan, Sonakshi Sinha, and Taapsee Pannu, directed by Jagan Shakti. This comes out August 15th. Which is very soon, a little over a month, no, a little bit less than a month from now. You can tell it's late because I keep going back and forth. A little bit less than a month from now, you bet your ass I'm gonna be there watching this movie. It's definitely in the realm of categories of films that I like to watch, stories I like to hear about.
There's no science without experiments. Experiment नहीं करेंगे तो हमें अपने आप को साइंटिस्ट कहने का कोई अधिकार नहीं.
तुम्हारी इस एक गलती की वजह से इंडिया का स्पेस प्रोग्राम पूरे 5 साल पीछे चला गया.
अमेरिका ने मार्स के लिए नेवल लॉन्च अनाउंस किया है.
I'm happy with them.
हम क्यों नहीं कर सकते सर?
We should borrow from NASA's knowledge and build on it.
हमारी हर समस्या की मरम्मत नासा से करवाने जाएंगे तो हम सत्यानाशा हो जाएंगे. तेल जब पूरी के लिए गर्म है तो उसको और गर्म नहीं करके ऑफ करके गैस बचा के पूरियां तलते रहते हैं. इस होम साइंस की टेक्निक से हम लोग मार्स जाना चाहते हैं.
You lost your mind?
I would ask the same thing.
ऐसा एक भी देश नहीं है जो पहली ही कोशिश में मार्स तक पहुंच पाया.
So they need a team fast.
3 साल के एक्सपीरियंस के लिए यहाँ नौकरी कर रही हूँ. उसके बाद उड़ जाऊंगी. नासा.
शादी नहीं हो पा रही है. मंगल मंडरा रहा है सर पे सर. और ये डिपार्टमेंट मंगल जाने की बात कर रहा है.
मुझे स्पेस साइंटिस्ट बनना था इसलिए मुझे 5 साल वेट करना पड़ा. अब नर्स का काम क्यों कर रही है?
क्योंकि अब शादी जो हो गई तुमसे.
ऐसे मुश्किल मिशन के लिए जवान खून चाहिए सर.
चेहरे पे देखो क्या नूर है. रात को क्या च्यवनप्राश लगाते हो क्या?
नहीं.
इतनी कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रोग्रामिंग की नहीं है.
Isn't that exciting? पहली बार we're going to do.
नए इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स कैसे फिट करेंगे? This is impossible sir. हमें एक एक्सपीरियंस टीम चाहिए और ये सब तो.
इसरो में मार्स जाने का एक्सपीरियंस किसके पास है?
अब तुम चाहते हो 800 करोड़. कहाँ से लाएंगे पैसा? It's impossible.
इस ट्रेजेक्टरी में 850 किलो फ्यूल के साथ it's impossible.
The chances of this mission succeeding is less than 1%.
मुझे अभी पता नहीं है कि कैसे करेंगे पर करेंगे सर. करना ही पड़ेगा.
I agree.
This is Rakesh Dhawan, Mission Control, initiating command for launch.
Go sir, go sir.
Go.
What is going on there?
पूरी दुनिया से कहो कॉपी दैट.
I love stories like this that are dealing with space. I mentioned that in the teaser reaction. And while I completely understand pride of your country, patriotism of your country when it comes to stuff like this, I mean, the US they did it too. When they landed on the moon, they put their flag there, you know, and made a big deal about that. America did it first, that kind of attitude. And I'm like, you know, for this kind of stuff, it goes beyond the parameters of our country. To me, it's just like human beings did that. That's amazing. Regardless of what country it's from, you know, we had the space race between Russia and the US, and it's like, but it's just awesome that humans are trying to do that. It's just awesome that humans are trying to push the boundaries because the future is space. Honestly, at a certain point, once we have fully used up the resources of the Earth and it's no longer habitable, we have to figure out a way to make somewhere else habitable and consume those resources. And Mars is the next stop. I mean, there's a lot of talk about the moon being the next stop. And then after that, Mars. So going from moon to the Mars. But anyway, this is a little bit different than I was expecting in terms of the kind of story that it is, because it almost feels like a batch of homegrown people, you know, who are like finding these ideas from the most random of places. Because me, even as a skeptical / open-minded person, if Akshay Kumar's character is coming at me going, you know, talking about the food and whatnot and how that works, I mean, I guess just at a cursory glance, I'd be like, yo, that sounds nuts. We're talking about putting stuff in space, and you're talking about, you know, food. I can totally see why someone might balk at that, but obviously you're here to watch a story about Akshay Kumar and you're rooting for him. Even though he's getting inspired from the most random of places, you're rooting for his character. And you know, in the end, just like with Padman, it's all going to work out in the way that he sees, and the you know, the dream he has will come true here. And it seems like we've got a nice wide swath of characters here, all walks of life, different types of people. One of my favorite shots was the old dude on the bike, on the scooter, whatever that's called, and it just looked cool. I mean, not cool, that's not the right word, but you know what I mean. It was adorable or cute or something. It was quirky. I like all the different kinds of people they have here. It just makes the film that much more interesting when you have a wide variety of personalities going on. And I think that is perhaps one of the things that bored me about The Martian with Matt Damon, and perhaps even going further back to Deep Impact. If you guys don't know what Deep Impact is, there were two films that came out at the same time about an asteroid hitting the Earth. There was Deep Impact and Armageddon, and Armageddon had the more interesting characters and the weaker science. Deep Impact had the better science but less interesting characters. So which one do you think had a longer lasting impact on the film culture here? Armageddon, you know? And so here, they got this cool thing going on where they have something that's based on a true story, and they've got interesting people that they've filled in the story with, interesting characters with their own idiosyncrasies and nuances that make them unique from each other. And I like that, you know, them coming together to do this mission to get to Mars. The visual effects was a little bit questionable, and I'm hoping that, well, I guess it's too late to improve upon it any further. It's one of those things where you just sort of have to accept it, and it's like, it's cool. The bigger deal here is the story and representing these heroes who are moving humanity forward. That's the bigger, more important deal. The visual effects doesn't matter so much. That's so secondary, third, fourth, all the way down the list. Not important. What's more important here is the story, the characters, and who it's based on, and representing those people on the silver screen so that they get notoriety and people know who they are, and they're given the respect they deserve for what they're doing. Like I said, moving humanity forward. As I said earlier in the video, I don't care what country it's coming from. India, the US, I don't care. As long as it's all about moving people forward. You know, at some point in the trailer, Akshay Kumar said something about if we go to NASA every time, I don't know what he said exactly, but something about we're not going to ever move ourselves forward if we keep turning to NASA. And while I understand where he's coming from, I'm also like, oh gosh, but like I want us to all be working together to move things forward more. You know, early on when Elon Musk started doing what he was doing, I think NASA had a huge reluctance to work with him, to help him out and whatnot. And it took time to build that. Like Elon Musk had to really establish himself as, yo, I'm a force to be reckoned with here. And then eventually NASA's like, okay, fine. You know, Neil deGrasse Tyson was super reluctant to, you know, buy into anything Elon Musk was saying early on. And now he's like, oh yeah, Elon Musk is doing, and he's praising him. Back to the visual effects thing. There was a film I was watching earlier today. I'm not going to say which one it was because I want to save that as a surprise. I'm doing a review with Achara. It's one of the Blu-rays that's sitting on my shelf. I'm trying to make my way through it. The first one, you know, in this series is Baby. We did that recently, the Akshay Kumar review. The new one coming out is one that Achara and I did together. Why I'm bringing that up is a big part of it is, to keep it ambiguous, the action. There's action throughout the film, right? And it's the reason why, it's part of the reason why you went to go watch that film. What I found was the action was actually terrible in that, but the story and the emotional content was so strong that it didn't matter to me. So likewise here, even though the whole thing is about this mission and whatnot. And so you're sort of looking forward to that in the movie. That's going to be in your third act, the last 20 minutes of the movie, I imagine. It doesn't matter that the visual effects is not like super, super top notch, or, it doesn't look as strong as the visual effects might look over here. Let's just be real, right? It's a different budget that they're working with, I imagine. But what I'm trying to get to ultimately is it doesn't matter. Because the emotional stakes will be there. I'm very much into this story. I'm very much into the way that this is shot. You see the stakes of what's involved here and how much it matters to these people, how much they love what they do. That's a big thing as well. The one other thing that sort of threw me a little bit was there was a sequence of shots, started in a subway, I think, and you saw someone like kick someone else, and then Akshay Kumar was flying over a table. It got a little actiony there for a second. I'm like, what's going on here, movie? I thought this was something else. I'm gonna forgive that because everything else here looks so cool. I'm super invested. It's got my $15 or whatever it's gonna cost over here, unless I happen to catch it like on a Bollywood Tuesday. There's a theater over here that, anyway, definitely gonna watch this and all the other things coming out on the 15th. It's gonna be a very, very busy day. Independence Day, India. I'm not gonna be able to celebrate the way you guys are celebrating. I'm gonna be working all day long because there is so much good content coming out that day. And I am stoked to watch Mission Mongol. I hope you guys are as well. And do let me know your thoughts in the comments below, how you feel about the trailer, how you feel about my thoughts, and if you're gonna watch it. I wanna repeat what I said in the teaser. I'm super glad Akshay Kumar is using his star power to do these stories. I cannot be thankful